So far we have seen the equation mx double dot plus cx dot kx equal to f of t, and we said m and k will be always symmetric if you use Euler-Lagrangian formula, that means energy method. So now we need to find this t. To find this t, we go step by step. That means we will solve a very simple problem with this, where forcing is 0 and without any damping, then where this m and k is symmetric. Then we include damping, therefore we assume the c is symmetric. So c need not to be symmetric always, so sometimes it won't be symmetric. So in those things we will solve for the other cases where c is not symmetric. So now we proceed with the first one. So mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. So here I am, for my convenience, I am writing it my double dot plus ky equal to 0. So here this y will be a harmonic function. So I am writing in this form. So where this is n into 1, this is r is also n into 1 vector. So here r and omega are unknowns. So this is what we need to find in this set of problem, because this y is the response of this is the solution. So in this solution, if you find r and omega, then we know we have the response of the multi-degree of freedom system. So before getting into the system, I want to introduce something, which is, let's consider a beam, and there is a mass here and here and here and here. So this is y1, y2, y3, y4. So let's say let's consider point y of k, which I can write r of k e power I omega k. So let's consider another point in this multi-degree of freedom system, which will m. So I can write rm e power I omega t. So where k is not equal to m. So now what I am doing, I am taking ratio of these two responses. So what I will get rk of rm. So rk rm will be the constant, therefore this will be the constant. So which will be, it is not function of time, it will be independent of time. So this kind of motion is called synchronous motion. So we are solving a problem for synchronous motion only. That means whatever we are doing, we are finding the methods and the transformation matrix that will be applicable to only for the synchronous motion. So let's get into our problem. We said my double dot plus ky equal to 0. So therefore y equal to r e power I omega t. Y dot will be r exponential I omega t. If you take derivative of I omega, it becomes I omega. So y double dot will be minus omega square r e power I omega t. So now substitute this into the equation, main equation. Then you get omega r square r e power I omega t, which is m plus k into r e power I omega t equal to 0. So minus omega square m plus k r equal to 0. So therefore you can write k r equal to omega square m r. So this is important relation. So now we have this relation. So now we need to solve this. So what are the unknowns here? R is unknowns, where it contains n into 1. N is the degree of freedom system. Then we have 1 into 1, which is the scalar omega. Therefore total unknowns are n plus 1 unknowns. How many equation we have? So where this R is n into 1, so K is n into n, so therefore we have n into 1 matrix in the left hand side. In the right hand side, of course, there will be n into 1 matrix. Matrix size will be n into n. Therefore we have n equation. So is it possible to solve this problem? To solve this problem with unique unique solution, we need to have n equation and n unknowns. Here unknowns are more. So in this case, how to solve? This can be solved by using eigenvalue and eigenvector. So therefore this formulation, the problem formulation, is called eigenvalue problem. So now I said we can solve this by eigenvalue problem. That's why this formulation is called eigenvalue problem. Now we want to know what is eigenvalue problem. Eigenvalue problem is that we have matrix K and we have vector R. So what I am saying, I have a vector R and in the left hand side I can multiply with any matrix in the left hand side. So that will give some constant multiple of same vector. So omega square and m is the matrix. So yeah, this is, sorry, I will state again. So let's say x is my eigenvector. So if I multiply with any matrix A, if I get some alpha times of same vector, then this kind of problem is called eigenvalue problem. So in graphically, how we can represent? So x and y, let's say this is my vector x, then I'm using some transformation matrix. So I'm using and I am multiplying the transformation matrix Ax, which will give like this. This is Ax equal to alpha times x, some alpha times of, so we can you can say this is 1 and this is 2. So therefore 3x alpha is 3. So this kind of problem is eigenvalue problem. So here we can say kr into omega square mr will be the similar to eigenvalue problem. So therefore we can solve in this. So now we have to see what is the problem in eigenvalue problem. So what is the problem in eigenvalue problem? We have kr, so minus equal to omega square mr. So we can simplify it, k minus omega square m r equal to 0. So to satisfy this condition, so we can say r will be 0 0 0. So if you use this for any value of omega square, r will be null matrix, then this one will be satisfied. But this 0 vector doesn't give any information, so we are not interested in. So So we are not interested in this kind of solution. So we need to look solution which is not r equal to 0. So we will start again. K omega square m r equal to 0. So I am considering this as a matrix n into n. If this matrix has the inverse, so let's say omega square m inverse, if this inverse exists, not all matrix inverses exist, so if this inverse exists, then I can pre-multiply this equation with its inverse equation. So if I pre-multiply this equation with the inverse equation, so what will I get? So here also I pre-multiply with the RHS, I will get 0 only. So this becomes I r equal to 0. Still I am getting the r equal to 0. So therefore I am not interested in it. So therefore I am saying, if this inverse doesn't exist, I won't get r, I won't get this I, so I will get some matrix. So therefore it is possible to get some non-zero r. So therefore I am concluding that the condition of this matrix, condition of k minus omega square m to get non-zero solution is what? K minus m square m inverse should not exist. If the inverse should not exist, then I will, instead of I here, I will get some matrix. So then if I multiply with r, I will get n equation and n unknowns. Then it might be possible to solve this problem. So therefore if the inverse should not exist, so what is the condition? The condition would be, if A is a matrix and you want to find A inverse, therefore the equation will be 1 by modulus of A into adjoint of A is the equation of finding A inverse. Therefore if this modulus, if this equal to 0, then A inverse is not possible. So therefore what we are suggesting determinant of m omega square m should be 0 to its inverse not exist. So therefore this equation k minus omega square m equal to 0 is called characteristic equation, and it is the necessary condition to get the non-zero solution. So from this characteristic equation we will get omega square. So then we can write this omega square in ascending order. So we can write omega 1 square, omega 2 square, dot until omega n square. So for each omega n we can substitute this omega n into the same characteristic equation. So we can substitute this omega n square into k minus omega square m r equal to 0. Then we will get this, from this we will get r1 r2 dot rn. So for corresponding omega n we will get omega n square, omega 2 square, omega n square. So now to assemble it, we need to write in ascending order. So from the ascending order, you write and name it omega 1 square, omega 2 square, omega n square. Similarly, we need to write associated. For each omega, there will be unique vector r. So you need to write that r along with it. So this one called eigenvalue. Omega 1 is called eigenvalue, and r1, so sorry, this is not O square, r1 will be eigenvector. Okay, so far what we have done is we formulated a problem, so which is here. So from here we formulated a problem and we solved it, and what we are getting, we got r1 and r and omega. Therefore we can write y equal to r, we know, e power I omega t. So now we solved this problem. So okay, in this case what I am claiming is that this t, this r1 is column vector. I am writing as a column vector. So I writing r1, r2, rn, so which will be n into n matrix. So this matrix I name as T. Yes, T is the same transformation matrix. So based on some experience, I am claiming this matrix, which is composite of eigenvector, is the transformation matrix. Then you can ask that in previous lecture we have developed the condition of T matrix should satisfy. So in next what we will do, we will subject this T matrix into that condition, and let's check whether it will satisfy that condition or not. If that satisfies that condition, then we can claim this T is transformation matrix. This is my claim so far. So I haven't proved yet. So next I will prove that T will satisfy that condition, which is T1 M T S R equal to 0 when S not equal to R. So if this condition is satisfied, then T is the transformation matrix. So we will do it in next class.